Hello and welcome back to the NBA DFS Slate Breakdown for Tuesday, March 5th. We are here. We're breaking it down. We got a decent sized slate today. It is 8 games, and I'm pretty excited to get into this one. I think this one does look pretty fun, and there is sure to be some injury shakeup as the day goes on. So just understand that, and I'll try and talk through some of those situations, but really can't get to all of them as I know no idea what is going to happen in the future with these injuries. Now, before we get into it, come join us at LionStar. We got those promos right down there. ParlayPlay, Sleeper, Underdog, Chalkboard, all of which you can get 1 free month of LionStar. We also do have free trials available. If you go through the app stores, you can get 7 days free. That is only if you have never used the platform before. Now, let's get into it. Let's get into the fun. As always, we will get over to FanDuel, and starting at point guard, our high-owned point guards, Terry Rozier, Vas Mikakic for Charlotte, and Kyrie Irving take the high-owned honors for today, with Fred VanVleet and DeJounte Murray close behind. So Terry Rozier, he is 6,800. The thing here is there is no Tyler Hero. Jimmy Butler is back, but I like the spot for Rozier. He's over a fantasy point per minute guy, has a very good matchup versus the Pistons. And we know from his days in Charlotte, he has that huge ceiling that we like. Now, we haven't seen that ceiling since he's been on Miami. He's just consistent right around 30, with a couple high 30s. Hasn't hit the 40s, but I just don't think we've seen his ceiling yet. I do like him. He is high owned, though, but I don't mind going there. It's a good matchup. Mikakic is likely to slide into the starting lineup once again. He played 36 minutes the other day. We have met 32. He very well could get back up to that 36-minute mark. And if he's there, he looks mighty interesting. I do like the spot for Mikakic. I don't mind going there. We saw him coming off the bench with a couple 30 burgers, and those were in way less minutes. So if he can get those 36 again, I think he's in a prime spot to go for 30-plus points, and at 4,800, you got to be considering that. Now, DeJounte Murray isn't quite a pivot, but he is still a little bit lower owned, and I don't know how you don't like him. Since he's taken over for Trey, he has a 60, he has a couple 50s, a 49, and overall, he's right around that 40 mark pretty much game in and game out. I think this is an interesting spot for him. While I don't absolutely love the spot just because the Knicks play so slow, I think it's interesting. The guy has too much usage with this team without Trae Young to not be a little bit interested. And next pivot, nothing here on point guard. Point guard, I am looking a little chalky with. Don't love other pieces. Schroeder is an interesting one. Suggs is an interesting one if you want to go down. Cameron Payne, if he plays, could be a little bit interesting with no Tyrese Maxey, but if he plays, that's going to make him higher owned. I think most people are considering him not playing right now. Now, point guard, Draftkings, Scary Terry, Cameron Payne, 3,200. If he plays, he's pretty much free at that price, so definitely would consider it there. As you can see, he's lived, high teens, but has those 20 and 40s that would get it done for you. Schroeder's popping up. Luka's popping. I do like Luka in this spot. Definitely getting some of him. The guy's been in the 70s and 80s constantly lately. So you got to like Luka. Don't mind going back to him in this spot at higher owned. Or at a decent ownership level. I do think there's enough value out there where you can get it, and probably more value opening up throughout the day. So don't mind going to Doncic. Now, matchup tool wise, Mikakic at the very top, Then we have CJ McCollum. I do think McCollum is interesting. I just wish they would let him play a little bit more. Guy plays, 32 minutes, 31 minutes most nights. If we had him at 35, 36, he would be an absolute smash. Suggs, while I don't love his ceiling capabilities, he is very, very consistent, so I don't mind him in some lineups. Sometimes just having a little bit of a salary saver, that's going to be like 5.5, maybe 6x, is nice. So I don't mind him getting into some lineups, and he does have that 40-point upside if he really gets it rolling. So I don't mind a little bit of him, not going to go overboard. And shooting guard on FanDuel, we got Kelly Oubre, Ochai Agbaji. I don't know how to pronounce his name, and I'm sorry for that. Then Kyrie Irving. Getting into Ochai, look, he is likely to start again. He played 33 minutes the other day. We have met 30 minutes right now. The only thing here is that when he was with Utah, he really wouldn't do too much. He did have a couple games which he popped a little bit, and at 4,100, I understand why you want to go there. I just don't know how much of a ceiling there is. Am I going to have some of him? Absolutely. Am I going to get over, say, 25% of my lineups? Probably not. DeJounte Murray's popping. This is likely where I would go over Ochai is Gary Trent. He put up 35. It just has way more usage without Scotty Barnes. So I think he is kind of interesting. He gets up to more like 0.84 without Barnes in the lineup for a fantasy point per minute. And, it's not a terrible spot, not a great spot. But don't mind getting some Gary Trent. And from years prior, we know he has a ceiling if he gets it going. Herb Jones, he's 5,500. The price has started to come down again. Doesn't look like anybody's going to be out, but I am intrigued because he's been playing a lot of minutes lately. When he's around 33, 34 at 5,500, he can do so much on the defensive side where he doesn't have to do that much offensively to really score some fantasy points. He can get a lot of steals, a lot of blocks, and you add in, 15 points, 5-6 rebounds, and he starts to be kind of interesting. So he has a nice ceiling. I think there's a decent chance of, 30 plus fantasy point wise tonight in this matchup versus the Raptors, who are just terrible versus small forward. So I don't mind going there. And without Scotty Barnes, that Raptor team's just even going to be worse. And Grady Dick. Grady Dick's another spot where I don't mind going to. It's over Ochai once again. They're similar price, but Grady's going to be way less owned. And he very well could have 27, 20 minutes to Ochai's 30, but he's just been producing at a better rate fantasy per minute. And I think that if he gets a little extra run, he can really, give you a nice score there. So I am taking a little bit of the ownership discount on Grady and going that way. And on to shooting guard, we got on DraftKings, that is Oubre, Terry Rozier, and Jalen Green with Schroeder right there ownership wise. Value spot, Sam Merrill is popping a little bit. He played 29 minutes last game. When this guy plays, he's had very good success, and it does look like he will play without Donovan Mitchell and Max Strus. So I think they're going to need shooting. He likely slides into the shooting guard spot. And even if he doesn't start, I think he's going to play 26, 28 minutes. And he looks fairly interesting for sure. And shooting guard matchup tool, Jalen Green at the very top, Dante DiVincenzo right there, Gary Harris, and Gary Trent. So I want to touch on Dante DiVincenzo. Look, the thing is, Brunson is questionable. If Brunson's out, his floor just goes way up. His minutes are going to go up, and his usage goes up. So I definitely like the spot in a pace-up spot. If Brunson's out, he becomes very interesting. If Brunson's in, I don't know if I can really get there. So kind of do or die there for Dante based on Brunson. Now, small forward on FanDuel, Kelly Oubre, Cameron Johnson, Tobias Harris are the three high owned, with Ingram just, a little bit shy of them. Kelly Oubre is in a good spot against this Brooklyn Nets team. It's a very slow-paced game, but 76ers still without Embiid, going to be without Tyrese Maxey, so they're going to really be looking for scorers here. So I understand why everybody's going there. He projects to play 32 minutes, which we definitely like. And he scores at a decent fantasy point per minute, and you could put pluses on that on top of this 0.84 without Embiid and without Maxey. So I think he does start to become kind of interesting. Don't mind going there whatsoever. He's just not one of the guys that I'm really, really trying to seek out to play. Cameron Johnson, his price is up there, $6,200. So it's gone up, $1K over a couple nights. But look, 37 minutes, 31, 30 minutes. He's projected at 33 minutes. It is a back-to-back, and he's a shooter. So, there's a little bit worry there. But, look, the guy's going to keep shooting. They're going to need him to score. And I'm interested going there a little bit for sure. As is Tobias Harris. This is kind of my pivot off Oubre. I just like Harris better in this spot. 1 fantasy per minute guy, 1.05. But then no Maxey, no Embiid. I think his floor is way higher. And I mean, the ceiling's a little bit higher also. We've seen, these 60s and 50s out of him without Embiid. So 7,400 with that type of ceiling, I'm pretty intrigued. Herb Jones we talked about, Grady Dick we talked about, and we will get over to DraftKings, Kelly Oubre, Jalen Green, and Brandon Ingram. Ingram's fine. I definitely like some pace or some Pelicans in this spot. Don't mind going to him. I'm getting more of Herb Jones, but Ingram is obviously in a decent spot here. And matchup tool-wise, shooting or small forward, we got Herb Jones at the very top, Aaron Naismith, and Dylan Brooks. I do think Naismith is a little interesting. I worry about his minutes as he played 21, then 28. He's still probably in that 26 to 28 range coming back from injury. But if they give him that additional run that we saw, a couple weeks ago where he's getting that 32, 34, I think he's fairly interesting. We saw a decent ceiling with him when he got those extra minutes. So as a flyer, I wouldn't mind going there, as I wouldn't mind going with Dylan Brooks as a flyer also. My only thing with him is his, getting into 40s is few and far between. However, mid-30s at 4,900, I'm fine. If you told me he's going to hit 35 at 4,900, I would take it. Moving into power forward, we got Kelly Olynyk, Cameron Johnson, Tobias Harris as the high-owned guys. Kelly Olynyk is likely going to slide into the center. He's 5,800 and going to play a lot of minutes. So played 26 the other night, 28 the night before that. And now he's likely the starting center, and we have him projected for 30. He's over a fantasy per minute guy, so at 5,800, it makes a lot of sense to want to go there. I understand why everybody is going there. The one thing on the other side, we got Jonas Valanciunas. I think he could absolutely dominate Olynyk if they give him more run, but that's a big if because the Pelicans could easily just go smaller versus the Raptors without Podol. So while I really do like the spot for Jonas Valanciunas, I'm scared by those minutes. So just wanted to bring that up matchup-wise with Kelly O. Cameron Johnson, Tobias, we talked about. Zion on the other side of that Raptors matchup is definitely interesting. He's been playing solid minutes outside of this last game with where he only played 21 minutes in a blowout. But look, 32, 29, 33, 36, 35, 34. If he's up back to that 34-plus minutes in a very good spot without Scotty Barnes, where, Scotty Barnes is very good defensively defense for the Raptors is taking a big hit here. Don't mind getting to a little bit of Zion. And Isaiah Stewart, this one's hard for me, but it's a very good matchup versus the Heat. They're 25th versus the power forward. I don't mind going there, and they've given him a little run. So this is a blowout, and he only got 27 minutes, but 33, 34 before that. If we bumped this 31 up to, 33 or 34, he's going to look really good projection-wise. So I don't mind taking some swings on him at low ownership. It's not, the most comfy spot in the world, but I don't mind taking him and maybe game stacking the Heat a little bit and hoping Pistons are able to stay in this game and get some high scores in that one. So, into power forward on DK, we got Jordan Nwora. We have him at 19 minutes. If he's only getting 19 minutes, I have a very hard time getting there. Even at 3,400, I just don't think the ceiling's there. But we really don't know what the Raptors are going to do as far as their rotation. So he very well could get 24 minutes. And in that case, he starts becoming interesting. Tobias, absolutely. Dean Wade, 3,200, could absolutely slide into this starting lineup. While he doesn't have a big ceiling, he very well could get us, mid-20s or 30. So definitely a little interesting going with some Dean Wade. Power forward, Zion, Jabari Smith, Isaiah Stewart, DFS on the very top of our matchup tool. And center-wise, we got Kelly Olynyk, Alperen Sengun are the high owns. I really like Sengun. I'm getting a ton of him right now. We know there's a huge ceiling. He can get, mid-50s, 60s. He's in a great matchup versus the Spurs. And Wemby is questionable. So if there's no Wemby, there's a lot less risk on that defensive side down low. So don't mind getting to some Sengun. He's done well versus them in the past. Had one of those blow-up games versus them. So don't mind going back whatsoever. My biggest worry in that is that it is an 8-point spread. But that doesn't scare me off. I like Sengun. And the last pivot I wanted to talk about was Evan Mobley. There is no Donovan Mitchell. We've seen huge ceilings out of him. Yes, one was an OT game, but the other one, he just played 35 minutes, which he could absolutely do tonight. There is no Donovan Mitchell. They're going to want him or need him to do a little more on both ends of the court. And we have him projected at 34. He usually only plays, 28 to 32. If he's getting that 34, he's going to look real interesting. And I think high mid 40s into 50 is absolutely possible, even against the Celtics. With that, we do got to talk about the Celtics as they have a couple questionable guys. Porzingis is questionable, as is I want to say it's Jaylen Brown, but let's make sure here. Yep, Jaylen Brown and Porzingis, both questionable. One of those guys are out, makes the other guys all look much more interesting, and vice versa. If two are out, then obviously everybody's a lot more interesting. Now, onto the center spot for DraftKings. We got Nick Claxton, Dean Wade, Alperen Sengun. I love Sengun. Claxton, 6,700. A little bit interesting. His minutes up to 33 last game. Over the last 20, he's only been playing 30. So if this is what they're trying to do, where they're trying to get him, 33, 34 minutes a night, he's going to be interesting, going to have those high ceilings. And the 76ers at this stage in the season really don't scare me at the center spot. So don't mind going there. Dean Wade, meh. Alperen Sengun, definitely interesting. And matchup-wise, Alperen Sengun, Jonas Valanciunas, Wendell Carter, and Bam Adebayo. Don't mind having a little Bam. Carter Jr. is kind of meh for me. And Jonas Valanciunas, I think, is a very interesting one. If they give him 26 minutes, I think this is a great spot for him. They only played him 20 minutes a month ago versus the Raptors, and believe that was with Podol. So major concerns about how much they're going to play Jonas, but he is a guy that does have that huge ceiling, and this matchup is very, very good for him. So if he gets, that 25, 28 minutes, then he starts becoming pretty interesting spot. So that'll do it. Interesting night. A lot of ifs and thens for this slate. We are going to really have to see how that injury news shakes out throughout the day. But all in all, I'm excited about the slate. Good luck. Let's win some money. Hope you guys get some takedowns. Bye.